Welcome to Helmet Fire, the official podcast of the Dead Horse Creek Speedway. Now your hosts, Chris and Cousins.
All right, here we go, Ryan. I'm Chris Unrup, promoter of the Dead Horse Creek Speedway. Who are you?
That is the wildest question I've always wondered. I wake up every morning wondering who I am. The loving part of this world is I am Ryan Cousins.
All right. So, Ryan, you and I go quite a ways back, but in this regard, not even a year.
Now, look what's happened.
I know, it's crazy. So, we've never done a podcast before.
It's going to be very evident very shortly to all of our listeners.
We have no idea what we're doing.
No, I really hope we get 3 to 4 listeners. Well, you got 4, 6, 7 kids. Yeah, it'll be all right. We'll have listeners.
I think 10 listeners, we call this a raging success.
Absolutely. It'd be like me getting out of the B main.
Yeah, totally. Ryan racing his way out of the B main. So what we're going to do here, our idea or plan, I guess, is to talk a little bit about Dead Horse Creek Speedway, what we've got going on there. I'm really curious right now what the over-under is on how many smokes it's going to take you to get through this.
I just was going to light a dart, to be honest. That's why we have to have a 12-foot table so you don't gag at the other end.
I kind of figured. All right, well, we've got some ideas, a few things we're going to talk about, and let's just jump right into this. So let's talk about Dead Horse Creek Speedway. This brain fart is not even a year old yet.
We're not 12 months from when it began.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So the Speedway itself was built when? What was that?
2008, I think, right? Or 9.
Yeah, 2008 is when I remember seeing an ad in the paper, and Al Hildebrand was looking for people that were interested in dirt track racing in our community.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact dates. I remember I went in 2010 the first time, and I wondered what this was. And then there's that guy. I don't know. We've heard of him before, that Brody Dobson.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he is just killing it.
Those were the days, watching Brody rail it around the high side.
Yeah, and slapping off the wall.
Yeah.
When he remembered to put his steering wheel on.
Yeah.
Hey, that's all right. He's not here to defend himself, so we can make fun of him.
Yeah, who else could do that? So, I mean, what I remember was this guy, Al Hildebrand, and he put a ton of effort and work into building this track just west of Morden. I mean, we went and raced there every Sunday afternoon for quite a few years.
I kind of refer to it as, we've all seen the movie Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
Al had a dream.
Yeah.
He did it, and a lot of on his own and determination. And look where we are today. Look at the facility we got lucky to get our hands to deal with.
Yeah.
And it's been nothing but forward motion from here on out.
Al put a ton of work into the Speedway, a better part of a decade of getting this thing up and going. And then COVID hits, and boom, dead. Yeah. The world just kind of stopped. It never got going again. This, like I say, this goes back to not even 12 months ago, a brain fart. And I remember I was on holidays with some friends, mutual friends of ours, Al Giesbrick.
And I got the text.
I remember texting a couple people, and you were one of them. And it was, hey, what's going on at the Speedway? I wonder if we could get that thing going again.
That'd probably be the day. I wonder if MLCC was happy.
So we get this. So we go back to, like I say, not quite a year ago, end of February. We get a bunch of people in the room, the usual culprits or suspects, we'll call them. And we get together and we kind of bat this around in my office in the boardroom. Is this worthwhile pursuing? What do you think? And we kind of cook up this idea of, let's see if we can get this thing going, and let's all volunteer our time and do it for nothing and try and help the community out. I think that's kind of the gist of how we got the ball rolling.
It's 100% correct. Sitting around with a vision that was like, yeah, why not? Let's give this a shot. What could go wrong? Yeah. And, well, lo and behold, nothing. We've had a few hurdles.
Yeah.
And there will be. That's like anything in life. But I don't know. It's pretty sad. There's a lot of satisfaction behind this.
So, going into 2023, we had to do some political work behind the scenes to get, the correct permissions, let's say, in place to do this all above board. We followed the legal processes and all that stuff. We got her done.
Yeah, we followed all the rules. We did her right. Anybody but our group would have maybe thrown the flag in at that time.
Yeah.
No, that's not how we function.
We had some grit, determination, and we made it happen. One of the things that, as a group, we talked about from the start was having an organization that would kind of oversee and and has a bit of a bigger vision than just a speedway. And so Valley Motorsports Association is what we formed. And talk a little bit, Ryan, about what the VMA is and what what we're hoping to do.
Well, we're essentially what VMA is. Valley Motorsports Association is grassroots group of guys and gals, and we have all the same mindset of wanting to go forward with motorsports. We just want to help the community. We're all in this for one main goal, is to give the community something else to see and do. And when they come to the races, it's multiple things too. They get to watch wild dirt track racing, plus an air show, plus, well, I can't tell you everything right now.
Yeah, well, like just when you get on the track, that's a show in itself.
Well, you just don't know what's going to happen. Is the guy going to loop it? Is the guy going to throw pipes? Is the guy going to maybe actually just drive the car like he sometimes is capable of doing? Yeah. But no, it's a group, an organization, and trust you me, anybody that wants to come on board, please come on down. It takes an army to make this happen. We've chosen the hospital for 2 years in a row now. That doesn't mean that's where it stays, but we're here to help the community while give the communities in the wide spectrum of our southern Pembina Valley area another thing to do, family orientated by all means.
I think one of the things that we talked about right from the very beginning, this may not always be just about Dead Horse Creek Speedway.
No, we ventured into the other sides, like if there's a drag race idea. Like that's where cars go in a straight line, I heard.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone would possibly think there's anything fun about it, but apparently there are some. There's some out there.
I believe it's actually the pedicures and the manicures that certain people from the east there, south and east of Winkler, they're that area, but they get
like this. They like flowers. It's like Rose Town or something.
Yeah, something like that, and they just love to get their nails done, and then they go and get in these cars and.
We race the car and then we drink the champagne and the caviar.
It's like, and what are you doing, Ricky buddy? I need to kick your ass. Yeah, that kind of thing. But, like I said, we're into everything.
We're very accepting.
Yes, we are very accepting. It doesn't limit us to, say, the motocross end either.
Yeah, I think there's all kinds of opportunity where this could go. We've batted around the idea of actually doing an event at the Morden Airport.
Correct.
For a drag strip. We're battling some challenges there with the pavement,
surface.
With the surface. So, if any of our listeners have an extra $1 million stashed away, don't know what to do with it, and they like to see cars go fast in a straight line.
Yeah, we will be willing to take that.
We could spend it.
Yeah,
we have places.
It won't take long.
Yeah. No. So the Valley Motorsports Association, it's an exciting week for us because this is our launch week.
Correct.
Today we launched our, it's taken us a while to kind of get this figured out and what it's going to look like and all that. So this week people can sign up to be a part of our organization, and we want to encourage that. We want people to be a part of us. This isn't just, a bunch of dudes that are getting together trying to do something. It's community.
Correct. And I do encourage, I know like what we posted today, but I do encourage people to go look. Like when you see the number, it's not shelf like, oh, you want me to pay that to be part of it. Please don't do that. Please read into it. When you look, say amenities or whatever you get with it, I don't know the right words. As everybody knows, Ryan, he don't know the right words.
Yeah, little vocabulary limited.
Yeah. Challenged, I'd like to call myself.
Vocabularily challenged.
Yeah, that would be the word. But you look at it, at the end of the day, you are getting invited to many other things, and you get your passes, and just look into it. And again, you can say you're part of us, and we're more than excited to have a huge group. Yeah,
it's one of these things where getting more people involved it helps carry the load, and we're able to serve more of the community that way, and I think it's just a great way for people to be a part of.
And it's not really cool. It's not age related. Like I'm sitting across the table here looking at a senior. I mean, Chris, like he's not a young man anymore, but myself, young whippersnipper. But
exactly, yeah.
It's not age related. Like we want this to carry on for many years to come. So let's get everybody involved.
Valley Motorsports Association. You can find out more on our website, deadhorsecreekspeedway.ca. There's a spot where you can click on for Get Involved, and then it'll take you to the VMA page. We've got 5 different levels of membership. So first of all, community member. If you're part of our community, you want to support what we do, you want to be in the stands for every race, every event of the year. That's what the community member is for. The organizational member is maybe someone who wants to be a little more involved on like a board type level or a membership level and help guide us and be part of decision making and feedback and all that kind of stuff. We want as many of our competitors as possible to be competitor members, because another one of the things that we talked about right from the start was we want to be a racetrack for racers.
Right.
We included racers right from the start. Believe it or not, even I was a racer.
Oh, I heard a rumor. I heard that, what do they call it? The Midwest sheet metal caution there that Ben Shelton always says. I heard that the prime supporter of Midwest sheet metal is coming back.
Black Flag King.
The Sparky.
Competitor membership level is, again, where we want as many of our competitors as possible to participate so that we can get feedback and input and help guide this thing the direction that the racers want to go. There's some really, really good perks to being a competitor member.
Yep.
Number one
being you get your season pit pass. Second of all, your pit stall.
Pit stalls. If there's one thing I learned last year, it's that racers want to reserve their pit stall.
Well, we are a little prima donna that way. We like to know. It's an omen. Some people have
don't like change.
No, we don't like change. Yeah. I like to ride in the back, and that's why I don't want to ruin the world.
Yeah. So become a competitor member, and you will get entered in the draw to be able to choose
1, 2, 200.
Yes, to determine the order, right?
Yeah, determine the order you
is
pick
included.
from.
Become a competitor
right, and
member.
the draw
your name
isn't
gets put in the draw.
We give
and
you
then
that
as we draw names out, that's the order of how people will pick their pit stalls. And then we've got the business member. So we've already got some people signing up for this. They're businesses. They want to support us. They want to be part of the organization. They get a couple of grandstand passes. They get a little bit of recognition that way and some advertising.
The annual updates.
And then lastly, there's volunteer members. So people that are listening that want to be a part and they want to volunteer. Basically, we've got 3 events this year. You commit to volunteer at 2 of them, and we give you the membership. Pretty cool deal.
And that membership does include 2 season pit passes, too.
Exactly.
That's a pretty big deal.
Right. And so if you're volunteering, you can give those pit passes to a couple of friends or some family or whatever. And then for the event where you're not volunteering, you're in.
Correct. We're kind of a fun group to work with.
Like,
who wouldn't want to? Who wouldn't want to work with us?
Yeah, we're not very cute, but we're fun.
That's why we got the voice. We got the face for radio, Chris.
If there's 2 people that have the face for podcasting, it's you and I.
Yeah, and that's not videocast. That's podcast.
Valley Motorsports Association, that's what it's all about. Go to our website, join up, be a part of what we're doing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's rewarding.
Let's go back to Dead Horse Creek Speedway. We had just an absolutely phenomenal inaugural season. And another one of the big things that we worked on so hard right from the start was a complete change of that track.
Yeah.
Wholesale change.
In a very short period of time.
Yeah. And you know what? We didn't even have to use flatbeds to haul clay. We actually found enough dump trucks.
Yeah, we had these trucks that have sides.
Yeah.
It's wild, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And we hauled more than 6 loads.
Yeah. How many loads, Ryan?
350.
350 loads of clay got hauled onto that track this summer. We had outstanding support from the community. This was another thing that was totally wild, where we had kind of talked about it in the beginning. Nobody was really sure. Can they commit? Can we do it? Can we do it? All this kind of stuff. But it all came together. We had loads and loads and loads of clay being hauled by volunteers. There was people from all over the community. We had people with trucks to haul clay.
We even had. Have you ever heard of that famous guy from Fannisville, Manitoba? That Jerome Wee Gigi or Gio.
Yep.
He came down and ran a truck. I couldn't believe a guy of that class had time at that time of the year to come down and help us out. It was impressive.
Thoroughly impressive. So we hauled all this clay on. We had people pushing it out. We had dozers. We had
graders.
We had all this iron out there. It was just a crazy sight. I think what we ended up with, on the words of Dave Miller, like, boys, we have an absolute grade A facility.
I got to laugh a bit there. The only thing you were missing was the ponytail.
I don't know how many times Dave told me last summer that of all the dirt tracks he's ever been to, and that's a lot, that this surface is like for sure top 5.
And that don't only come from Dave. That come from some really respectable fellas from down south that came up that I'm still, call it tickled pink, for Mr. Michael Gresseth and them to come up. When Mike told me straight out that this place is astounding, I'm like, whoa. And then there's that corn-eating Jason Strand. He was so excited. Like, and Dustin Strand just wailed on that old mod and that late model around the top. Yeah, all those guys. And when I say those names, it's because they traveled a long way to take faith in our what we were attempting to do, and they can't wait to get back.
If the response that we had from the people who came and gave it a try, I mean, yeah, at first there's a little trepidation, like, how do these honkies know what they're doing when it comes to, putting a racetrack together? And I would still say we don't.
The answer, we don't.
We don't.
We go on the Hope and Wish Foundation.
We're figuring it out. And I think what happened last summer was probably a testament to all the work that went into it and just really, really good source material. Like, we have really good clay to work with.
Yeah, so, no rocks.
No rocks.
That's number one. A packable surface. Yeah, that's wild.
I was pretty jealous that I couldn't race on it because I was a little busy. And
there was a lot of happy other cars that you couldn't. But hey, can edit that out. You can edit that out.
Leave me alone. All right, so we get this clay on there. We have a couple of just super fantastic events. The attendance just completely blew us away. I remember, before this all went down, sitting in the boardroom and talking about what would success look like. And I remember we felt it was a stretch to say, if 500 people show up, we'll call it a success.
Yeah, 500. We were like, if we had 500, we've really nailed this year. And then Nita with the concession, so we tell her that. And wow, she wasn't even to intermission the first day, and she's sending people back to town for food, and we're like, whoa, what happened?
It was crazy.
Insane.
Again, being first year and not really knowing what we're doing and all these things, we didn't even really get that accurate of a count. We kind of lost track over a couple thousand. So we think that, on average, we were around 2,500 a night.
Yeah.
And it was just, the place was packed.
In the words of these, it is wintertime, in the words of these young lads, these young fishermen, I was sick, man. Sick.
No, my kids taught me it slays.
Oh, that too. We got sick, we got slays.
Yeah.
And when I say it's like ballin', that's apparently not funny anymore.
Oh, really?
That's old now.
Oh, boy.
So ballin's weird, yeah.
Good thing you included me in there.
I just wanted to warn you before.
Yeah, my kids actually gave me a dictionary one year for Christmas.
Oh, no.
Specifically for me, a Gen Z dictionary. So, I got really...
so you're up to date.
I got really schooled up there. We had this great season. We're moving on. We're heading to 2024. And you want to maybe talk through what we got going down this year?
We're starting May 25th, 26th. So that's kind of out of our normal. How do you call it normal? We only had 1 year, but... So that's a Saturday, Sunday, and I don't know if you've all heard of this NLRA, but Northern Late Model Racing Association, they're rolling into town for 2 separate shows. Now, this is the Northern World Outlaws.
Yeah.
Call it that.
And this is just like over the top, unbelievable, talented drivers, good equipment, high-end racing.
It's something that myself, I'm waiting to see.
Yeah.
It's going to be wild.
I mean, we've dreamt for years of what it would look like to have late models on this track.
We've said it since ALH's begin.
And so last year we saw late models.
And lots of you may have been there, all 10 of you listening to us. But that show they put on was phenomenal. Right from Holden to Edgington to Gresseth to Strand to Frank Veert. Oh, wow. And I'm missing some, I apologize, but that's how it goes. I'm not used to the sponsor talk thing. It's, it's just something I don't get to do often. But, so that's first weekend. That we call that the McNaught Cadillac Cup.
Yeah.
McNaught Cadillac out of Winnipeg is that's our first weekend sponsor.
Yep.
And we're very fortunate to have them on board. And we're also, that's our B-Mod deal too.
We're going to have a B-Mod special that weekend as well. So that's what the Cadillac Cup will be, the B-Mod special. And then in addition to that, both nights, the NLRA, Northern Late Model Racing Association, for those in our area here that maybe aren't as familiar with it, these are the best of the best in the region. And the racing is going to be out of this world, and especially on that track. It's just going to be phenomenal. So we're going to pause here for a little bit because Ryan's getting a drink and I need one too. We have no advertisers, so we might just have a commercial of Dead Air. We have this incredible inaugural season, which just completely blows us away. And now we move off into 2024 and we start planning. And Ryan, walk us through what's going to happen this year.
Well, we're going to begin May 25th, 26th with the McNaught Cadillac Cup, which will be the B-Mod show of the year with the NLRA Late Models, the Northern Late Model Racing Association. That's something you're going to want to, but between the B-Mods and those, the show is going to be wild.
Yeah.
Us poor A-Mod guys, we're just, and the pures, we're just going to be the fillers.
Just
like we
hardly even entertainment.
Yeah, like we maybe not even be noticed.
Yeah.
But we'll go to that. So McNaught Cadillac out of Winnipeg, that is McNaught Cadillac Cup sponsor. If you want a Cadillac, well, that's where you got to go.
Well,
they are the Cadillac, and they do have a new store there in the Auto Mall. And look up Frank.
Yeah,
Frank will get you the right guy.
Frank has been fabulous to work with.
Great to race against, too. He doesn't even hit you.
Yeah, my experience is if Frank does business the way he does, the interaction with us at the Speedway, this is a guy you want to work with. This is a guy you want to do business with.
That's where my last pickup came from.
Yeah.
Was Frank. So that's what that first weekend will be. So that's a Saturday, Sunday. Exciting as get out. We will have, as always, Dead Horse Creek Speedway intermission. That'll come out at a little later date, but it is locked down, so we're good. So the late models, that's going to be astounding. And the B-Mods that weekend, I'm guessing we're having B-Mains. I know we will. Then we roll into July. Then we got Green Valley, the John Deere dealer. Huge supporters of our whole vision. They've been with us right from the start, too. And so that's Green Valley race weekend.
So we don't quite know what the race is going to be called yet.
We're working with them, but they're on board. There's no doubt, but they have some visions. We have some visions. The name of that actual race will come out here shortly.
Yeah, so that's July 5th and 6th.
Yeah.
And I can confirm that I have booked Luke Penner to come out again with his extra 330 SC, and he's going to try and fly as good as I do.
Ooh, shit. So he'll be all right. That'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Hey, would he put his, when he goes to land, does he put his landing gear down?
Hey, move along.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of someone else there. But anyways,
so Luke Penner Air Show for the July 5th and 6th.
We're aiming for it to be an A-Mod special.
Yeah, so there's going to be something happening for the A-Mods. And then I think we can also talk about the Brad Wall Memorial.
That's where I was going next.
Right on. Tell us about that. Well, how's that going to work?
So that's kind of close to my heart, too. Brad was a young lad that anybody listening that knew him, you'll get a little emotional over that, too. He's a son of James and Kim Wall. The kid and brother Cody, James has been racing since, probably before I knew. So he raced the street stock, and then he died in a tragic accident later, way too young to be gone. So we're going to have the Brad Wall Memorial. We had one in Morton before the COVID kill. They had one in Winnipeg, and now I come back to home, the roots. That's where Brad cut his teeth racing. Really, he had that four-cylinder. I remember it blew up not once. They got another one. It blew up again. That kid was hilarious. He come to our trailer that day. I need a shirt, Ryan. What size do you want, Brad? Well, I'd take a medium. No, Brad, I think a medium's not good. He put her on and says, I told you a medium is great. We still chuckle about that story. But yeah, so it'll be the Brad Wall Street Stock Memorial Race. The payout will be extended. He was well known through his dad too. I'm hoping there's going to be quite a few travelers coming to that. There's no other street stock tour races, no other in the area. So that's a pretty big deal. Tribute to a stand-up young man that was gone too soon. And again, as on our next podcast, because we will, the more details, and stay tuned to our Facebook page, our TikTok, our Instagram. Insta. I didn't say it in Gen Z. And stay tuned to all that, and all these details are going to come out. And then we roll into the finale of the year, King of the Corn. And that is going to be our pure stock special.
We are so impressed with how our community has embraced the pure stocks. That was one thing that actually caught us by surprise. And I remember actually going back to when we first started talking about this deal, we kind of debated whether or not we wanted to have pure stocks part of this thing. We kind of weren't 100% sure. And I tell you, we announced a pure stock race and they all came out of the bush, every one of them. And they actually put on some highly, highly entertaining racing, especially when the track had character. Do you remember that first night?
As Dave Miller would say again, that was a track for the fans. That was astounding.
And that's, to be honest, that was one of the things that I learned coming into this as a racer. I'm going to call myself a racer, even if...
we'll let you go. You can identify as whatever you want to.
Okay, you're going to let me identify as a racer? Okay, so I'm identifying as a racer and coming into this and learning what it takes to run a racetrack and learning how important it is to put on a show for the fans.
100%.
And I remember being out there that first Friday night when our track maybe wasn't as smooth as glass as some have been, but it had what we say is character.
It was a hell of a race,
and
man.
It was
every class.
Absolutely. Everybody was on the edge of their seat watching that. And it was just completely thrilling. And it was such a great way to kick this thing off.
So
Pure Stock Special. We're going to call it the Pure Stock Extravaganza or something like that. That's going to be on the Corn and Apple weekend.
Correct. And that'll be our finale of the year. And we'll have the late models on the Saturday again, of course. Prior to that, it'll be the regular game. Yeah, it's going to be pretty wild. And actually, it's pretty amazing how many Pure Stocks have been bought from guys that quit. And it's really neat to see. Like when I look back at, so I started in the B-Mod, never was much good, but having a lot of fun. Then my kids started, both of them cut their teeth at ALH on slingshots. And then Bailey, that guy.
That's the subject of another podcast episode, is going to be you coming to Jesus and telling me about all the ways you were cheating and teaching your kids how to cheat.
Never cheated.
Because you guys completely dominated, and I could see it in your eye.
Nope.
Now,
there's only one guy. It was never cheating. It was never cheating.
You're one of these guys. It's not cheating if you don't get caught.
No, it's a gray area. Now, there's a very dear friend of mine from Grand Forks, Mr. Bobby Eckert. Now, that's the legend, B1.
The B1, yeah.
So, his kids and my kids started. And him and I actually are the ones that got that whole crazy thing going. That's why Jamestown has them. It's Esteban, Chris Soap took over there, and pretty wild. But Bobby always sometimes could one kid would have the edge on Bailey. And I'm like, what in the... So you know how I figured it out. Bought his cars. Ta-da! Away we went.
Oh, man. I still think back to those days. Those were fun times. Oh. Man, those were fun times. I still, to this day, I know you were doing something.
No. But, you look at that from there, and then we put Bailey in that pure stock, and then, look at we here now.
Yeah.
Now he's my slave just to have a race car.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to end the season, Corn and Apple weekend, 23rd, 24th of August. There, too, we've got some exciting things happening in terms of entertainment. People will remember last year we probably had the fireworks show of the region. I think we put our cities to shame.
Absolutely.
And it was just a spectacular show. We're looking to have those guys back again. We're hoping to get some live entertainment lined up. That's part of our plan. So lots of exciting things going on. I can't say enough about how excited we are to get this thing going in 2024. The response that we've had from the community, from sponsors, is outstanding.
Beyond.
we're having great conversations here every day about what's going to happen this year, about the excitement, about new things that we're going to do that are just going to add value to our fans. And it's just been, this whole thing's been a ton of fun. And neither of us are getting paid a dime.
No, I feel like I'm working for Mr. Trudeau again. But, there's one thing we're forgetting. Is there something exciting happening? Do we have something new coming? Is there something that the fans are going to want to look at?
You got that right.
I'm just curious. Not that we forgot. I might have dragged this on, but is there something that they might want to see?
Oh, yeah. This is just another one of these things that I got to watch my language when I talk about it, especially on a public podcast like this, right? Like you and I talked before we started this podcast. It's like, okay, we should lay down a few guardrails here, right? Like,
I wonder how many people have bets on how many things I said, and they're going to lose.
I know.
I might even be pressing myself.
Right, what's the over/under on Cousins F-bombs on the podcast, right?
Yeah, I can be a nice fella when I want to be.
And so I know one of the things that you and I said was we're going to try and do this in such a way that we don't end up getting charged for hate speech.
Yeah. See, and we're not there yet.
So I'm having a hard time finding the words, but this is just so exciting.
I have to wear gloves and shoes when I have to switch from counting my toes. I'm trying to figure out how many damn laps are left. But I think we got something figured out.
I think we got something figured out.
I do. So we're not going to have people with sticks standing there showing us. But what we have coming is an actual scoreboard, a Daktronic scoreboard, top 4 lap counter that will go in the middle. All you fans will see who's in the top 4, how many laps are left. But what's even more exciting is we didn't do this.
No.
We did.
This is the community.
This is where the community sport comes
rallying around this thing.
LMS Ag, the AGCO Fendt dealer, Massey, Versatile, Short Lines, they are the sponsor of that scoreboard.
Yeah, so we went to LMS Ag today, you and I.
And I'm thinking they're going to see I don't know which is coming out first, but whatever. It's pretty freaking exciting.
Yeah, this is just thrilling. So we went there today. We met with Abe. We talked a little bit about what we're doing. LMS Ag is also one of these companies that's really, really on board with what we're doing.
Family owned, family driven.
Yeah, completely supportive of what we're doing. And we're super pumped about this relationship with them to get this scoreboard. So it's been ordered. It's on its way. And like you said, it's going to be laps remaining, top 4. And in addition to that, there's
I left it for you.
Yeah, Ryan. Oh, yeah, Ryan. And this is one of my...
Why is the table growing?
It's just because I'm so excited. And especially because, I may not be able to ever, win a feature race, right? But...
there's a hope.
You never say never, right?
Nope.
But one of the things that, from my time of racing at ALH that I had always, wished for and wanted was, to be able to see how many laps remaining. We are going to have, in addition to the LMS lap board that faces the fans and lets them know how many laps are remaining, we're going to have one just for the racers, for the drivers.
Just at the flag stand.
When you come by the flag stand, you'll be able to see how many laps remaining. And, off you go. And that's one of the, a couple things that we're just really, really thankful for this community that's rallying around this thing and allowing it to happen.
That in conjunction with, I do have to say, I've raced at a few tracks now from here to Arizona. That flag guy we have, Mr. Carl
Mulder.
I'll tell you something. There are very few
tracks. The guy's like a
a
sex machine. Can I say that here?
Yeah, we're okay. We'll let it go.
Okay.
But he'll tell you halfway through, he'll tell you 2 to go. The dude knows how to flag.
Yeah, absolutely. I've watched him.
It's pretty impressive. I haven't seen that blue and yellow one. I don't know what it means. Do you know what that blue and yellow flag is, Chris?
Yeah, I also know what the black one looks like.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. You do, eh?
Yeah. I don't believe it's correct.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a
myth. I think it's actually bullying.
Totally.
I think
complete bullying.
Yeah, but no.
Ban that.
So, in conjunction with Sex Machine Carl, that might be his name from here on out. I don't know. But Sex Machine Carl and that lap counter, that's pretty exciting. Yeah. But we are, one thing though, safety division forward, we may have to put a harness on Carl for how far he hangs out of that flag stand. And he might start wearing a helmet because I don't know he can afford to get hit anymore.
Yeah, he's so sexy. He's a little top heavy. We don't want him to fall
This
out
is
there.
true. Yeah, he's lacking some bottom end.
All right, so that's super exciting. We got the schedule out. Again, everything's on our website, deadhorsecreekspeedway.ca. So I think we're going to wrap this up. I think we're hitting the white flag here.
Yeah, we kind of are.
On our first ever podcast.
And we only had one caution.
We only had that's right. We only had one caution.
Impressive.
We over-rotated a lot. Like, over-rotating is when, you're doing something, you don't know what you're doing at all. Right?
Yeah, true story.
And so, every once in a while, all of us over-rotate.
It happens.
Racers, we never spin out.
No, we
only over-rotate.
And if this was a video and I could pull up the picture, some of us make a hell of a spark show.
Oh, yeah.
Like those fireworks that we had
in
at Cornapple there. I don't know if they compare to your Ogilvy show.
Yeah, I know. But it's one of those things where when your buddy says, don't worry, it'll hold.
Yeah.
You can't trust that.
In the words of my friend Greg Freestead, first race ever, Grand Forks, says to me, just hold it wide open. Yeah, well, I ended up on my lid.
We are going to wrap this up here. We're super excited to announce our first ever guest on the Helmet Fire podcast is going to be Jerome Guillot. Yeah. Jerome doesn't know this yet, so if any of you are listening, just make sure you text him and let him know. He's going to be the first guest on the podcast. We're super excited about Jerome coming on. And
you're going to want his autograph.
Yeah, and what I heard was that he's going to tell us all his speed secrets.
But the problem is, only a few will understand because he's going to do it in French.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So I'm going to get my translator.
Yeah, Google Translate. That'll work.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for the first ever Helmet Fire podcast. I'm Chris.
And I'm Cousins.
All right, we'll see you next time.
We killed that.
This is Helmet Fire, the official podcast of the Dead Horse Creek Speedway. Visit them online at deadhorsecreekspeedway.ca. Follow them on your favorite social platform at Dead Horse Speedway.